Hi Gemini and Gemini Rising, this is your February 2017 forecast. So February is said to be an interesting and perhaps challenging month because we've got two eclipses coming up. We've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening in Leo in your 3rd house and a new moon solar eclipse happening in Pisces in your 10th house on the 26th of February. So eclipses carry the signature of change, and sometimes, they can shed a light on certain areas of our life, and this necessitates a kind of course correction. So these sorts of changes can be upsetting or liberating, but either way, they do mean a kind of reshuffling and resetting. So let's look at where the planets are this month. We've got the sun in your 9th house, where you're hungry for new experiences, you're looking to broaden your horizons, you're feeling adventurous. It's a very good placement for making study or travel plans. So where the 3rd house is concerned with mundane routine, the 9th house is concerned with the bigger picture, how we make our life more meaningful. So this is a very good placement for taking up a new hobby or a course of study. And in general, you'll find yourself more receptive to spiritual and philosophical ideas and concerns. From the 19th of February, the sun moves into your 10th house, and this is a very public and visible placement for the sun. This is where your focus is on career, reputation. It's also a chance to showcase your professional skills and capabilities. You'll want to be a little bit more diligent at this time because of the visibility. So if you're making mistakes or doing sloppy work, they're more likely to be noticed at this time, so be sure to be conscientious. Often we find when the sun is in the 10th house, we get more recognition for our professional skills and capabilities, and also sometimes more responsibilities. The sun in the 10th can also shed light on the 4th house, so that's the parents, so sometimes our interactions with our parents can be more focal at this time also. Your ruling planet is going to be in your 9th house for most of the month, and here this is really going to fan that desire for new experiences and again be very good for learning new skills or taking up a course of study, for making plans regarding travel because you're going to be very good with executing paperwork. So with Mercury, this is what's on your mind. So you're looking for meaningful experiences, you're looking for adventure. Travel seems very appealing. It's also a very good placement for conversations around metaphysics, philosophy, and legal concerns. From the 26th, Mercury moves into your 10th house, and this is good for professional skills and competency. It's also a good placement to make, to start having important discussions, perhaps around how to get promotions, how to get a raise. Communications on the job can also be highlighted, so business negotiations, transactions, those sorts of conversations, perhaps presenting to authority figures or bosses. And you may also find yourself inundated by more paperwork on the job itself. So Venus and Mars are going to be in your 11th house in Aries for the duration of February. So Venus in the 11th house, it's the best placement for group activities with friends. It's a time to socialize, have fun. Venus here can attract those opportunities without making too much effort. In terms of professional, potential, Venus in the 11th is very good for presenting and working with groups. And some of you may find that friendship blossoms into love, and so, you may find that a friend becomes a little bit more than that at this time. Mars in the 11th house is very good for formulating goals. Mars is that active, energetic planet. It's where we put our physical energy. So here the focus is on objectives and goals, and teamwork is really a watchword here. So teamwork and group activities are favored. It also, Mars here being so energized and in the house of friendships and groups, favors physical activities with friends, so taking hikes and, doing active things like games and sports. So let's look at the other transits this month. We've got a new moon on the 28th of January, and new moons always have that startup energy where you're formulating new plans, goals, and objectives, and this new moon will be in your 9th house, so this is that area of the chart where you're focused on growth and exploration. You're looking for new projects, activities that feed the mind and the spirit. So it's all about travel, study, and adventure, and getting things off the ground and plans made in that respect. So plans for study, plans for travel. So on the 9th, we've got the sun sextiling Uranus between your 9th and your 11th house, and this is very good for new activities. It heightens awareness. For you, this can be new activities that involve friends or groups. You're feeling restless and energetic, and you really want to shake up routine. It's also very good for problem solving. So if something's been eluding you, this will give you that fresh perspective. So on the 10th, we've got Mercury sextiling Venus between your 9th and your 11th house. And this is very good for light-hearted, leisurely, relaxing activities with friends, conversations with friends. It's also good for declarations of love, opening your heart, telling people how you feel. And so very good for all types of pleasurable scenic activities. So doing something pleasant, doing something fun. And for you, this is going to be with friends or groups. So on the 11th of February, we've got the full moon eclipse happening in Leo in your 3rd house. And this is where, the mundane affairs may catch up with you. Eclipses play out over time. So this could be a period of where you're having to catch up with paperwork. There's routine communications that need to be attended to. So paperwork, phone calls, short trips. So it's all about finding the balance between the big picture and the little things in life that you need to get done. So just get focused and, be sure to do those things that require your attention. So all full moons also highlight a relationship and emotional issues, so it's a good time to purge emotional baggage, especially things that you've been carrying for the previous 6 months, so shedding that load. So, and there are very favorable aspects between the Sun and the Moon, Jupiter, Saturn and Uranus. So for you, the favorable aspects with Jupiter are going to be very good for marketing, for personal business projects, for creative projects. So if you need to get things off the ground, if you need to publicize what you're doing, or so launching, something around, or advertising a creative business project. So marketing, creative, personal business projects. And Saturn here is going to help with stabilizing influences from long-term partnerships. So supportive long-term partnerships are going to be crucial to you. And there's also going to be possibly some changes with friendships or groups that are welcome changes. So, you may find things being mixed up a bit in terms of new friends, new group associations, or you may simply choose to join a new group. So on the 14th of February, we've got the Sun sextiling Saturn between your 9th and your 7th house. And again, this is very good for supportive, practical advice from friends and partners. So older people offer you good sound advice. It's about partnerships that really matter, that are going to be long-standing. So here the focus is on practicable, tangible results, and it's a bit more of a serious, stabilizing influence. So a closer look at partnerships and long-term plans around study or travel, and a more sober, reflective consideration of how to execute them. On the 16th, we've got Mercury sextiling Mars, and this Mercury and Mars together in favorable aspect can lend to a lot of mental and physical busyness. So for you, this could be activities and projects where you take the initiative with friends, perhaps you make some plans, you get them off the ground. So you'll want to make use of opportunities to expand your goals and objectives. So make use of opportunities that come your way and really seize the day. On the 20th, we've got Mercury sextiling Uranus between your 9th and 11th houses. So again, hitting the friendship group sector of your chart, goals and objectives. So here you can tackle problems that you couldn't resolve in the past. It'll give you a fresh perspective. It's also very good for mastering technical skills or problems, and again for taking up a new discipline or study, since the 9th house is involved. So new disciplines and study and a fresh approach to problems. So on the 21st, Mercury trines Jupiter between your 9th and your 5th house, and this is very good for organizing your affairs. And for you, it's going to be particularly around personal business projects, since this is a very favorable aspect for all kinds of business and commercial deals and transactions, buying and selling. So for you, this could be very good for personal business projects, creative projects, speculative risks, so that sort of thing. And, it could also be good for kind of finalizing travel or study plans and, launching off in a new direction like that. On the 22nd, we've got Mars squaring Pluto from your 11th to your 8th house. And with Pluto in the 8th house, this can be power struggles, ego conflicts. And since the 11th house of friendships and groups is indicated, it could be conflict with a group or an authority figure or a friend. So clashing with these people. The positive side of this transit is you can get a lot of work done. So if you want to avoid those power struggles, clashes and conflicts, then that's what you'll want to do. You'll want to buckle down and get things done. So on the 23rd, we've got Mercury sextiling Saturn, and this is very favorable for critical thinking, for detailed, meticulous work. So if there's paperwork that you need to attend to that's kind of a little bit boring but needs to be done, then this is the energy for that. It's not so good for big picture or creative thinking, but for buckling down, for conscientious work, it's very good for that. So the new Moon Solar Eclipse is happening in your 10th house, which is an angle, so very prominent placement in your chart. So this is new projects in the career sector. So this was with this new Moon Solar Eclipse in your 10th house, it's going to be all around goals for constructive career progress. It's going to be about new business plans and goals, getting them off the ground. So it's really about reinvigoration and renewal in terms of career. So this can highlight professional skills, capabilities, and the focus for the next 6 months is really going to be around discipline in this area of your life, the chart. So it's career and professional advancement, getting things off the ground like that. The main aspect in this solar eclipse is the Sun and the Moon are conjunct Neptune, so this does favor artistic, creative projects, also philanthropic projects, charitable endeavors. So with Scut, the fixed star, being conjunct the Sun and the Moon, it can show support and assistance from friends, and, dreams and wishes can be, can come true to a certain extent. There is a difficult semi-square with Mars and Uranus, which are now conjunct in your 11th house. So this could be some changes happening in terms of friends and groups, things that are unexpected, perhaps sudden upsets, can cause a course direction. And with the Neptune, of course, you want to make sure that whatever plans you're thinking and dreams you're dreaming are firmly grounded in reality. So don't let this one confuse and disorientate you. So stay focused, stay grounded. By all means, dream big and so on, but when it comes to actually committing to things, make sure that you've worked out all the details in advance. So the month ends with Mars opposing Jupiter from your 11th to your 5th house, and Mars and Jupiter together, it's very energizing. There can be a bit of a tendency to go overboard, and it's particularly with Mars conjunct Uranus at this time, you really want to watch rash, impulsive actions, like not going overboard. And for you, this is going to be around friends and personal business projects. But if you rein in that energy, you can get a lot done. But you don't want to overcommit or overextend yourself with friends and personal business projects. Just, keep yourself focused and, narrow your focus. Don't spread yourself too thin. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe, and thanks so much for listening.